is deciding whether you're truly committed to being happy no matter what. Because life is going to throw all kinds of curveballs at all of us. So the greatest gift you could give yourself is, I believe, to make that decision and say life is too short to suffer. It doesn't matter what happens, you're going to find something in it to enjoy and appreciate.
You find what you're looking for. You want to get sad? Go read all the negative stuff. It's there, unlimited. You want to be happy? Go find all the free content around happiness, self-fulfillment, positivity. It's all there. You find what you're looking for.
I'm not an advocate of toxic positivity or rose-colored glasses necessarily, but I do believe that you get to choose the thing that you're going to go looking for. And if you can get up and say, I'm going to go out and find some evidence of a good day, the likelihood of you having one is just higher.
That gratitude allows me to have perspective at the end of the day, as opposed to focusing on all the horrible things or the bad stuff. It brings me back to perspective that my life is amazing, even if it's horrible. My life is amazing, even if it's the worst day ever and everything's against me. I lose all my money and something else bad happens. It's still incredible.
You focus so much on the negative that you forget all the positive. And then when you do think about the positive, you're not putting the energy in the positive like you put in the negative. I know how to talk negative just like you know how to talk negative, but it don't work. It don't help nobody. Because if I put my energy into something negative, automatically my body's gonna respond and I'm gonna start doing negative stuff. I was homeless too. My father wasn't in my life too. I've been in struggles too. But I've come to realize that when you think optimistically and you speak positively, you can speak those things which are not as though they were. You can say certain things out your mouth and make it happen.
Positive thinking is not about being delusional. Positive thinking is about learning how to take control of internal processes and understanding that that will shape your external environment. But it's about remaining in control of the internal landscape. It's about knowing that despite shifts in the external landscape, you're going to be okay.
This wave
Grand Rising family, Grand Rising. We're going to get started in literally a couple minutes. What I want you guys to do is screenshot that you are on this call, send it into every single group chat that you are in. Let's get way more people on this call. Going to get started in literally 2 minutes, guys. Just want to make sure that there's more people on the call. So yeah.
of betrayal, this wave of fear, this wave of grief, this wave of frustration, this wave of feeling stuck, this wave of feeling hopeless, it's temporary. It will come and it will go. And when you realize that emotions are temporary, it also gives you perspective to know that something better is coming.
One of my mentors, she had this business card that she used to give out to people. And it said that her greatest regret in life is trading in what she wanted in the bigger picture for what she wanted in that moment. And I always think about my life in that way of, is this what I want for the greater good, for my story to be, or am I acting out of a place of desire? Am I acting out of a place of wanting to change the way that I feel right now, knowing that that will hinder me? That's not really what I want. What place am I coming from?
Smart people like the idea of being cynical because it seems like you've considered all of the options. Only somebody that's a smooth-brained idiot would believe that things are going to go well, but it fails to recognize that your experience of your life is largely determined by the story that you tell yourself about it.
Well, I think it's the idea of going, look, you can change the way that you think about things. So I was thinking about things in, I can do this narrow bandwidth of things. My belief system, the assumptions I'd made about life, well, you can get a job and you can work for someone. And after you get a job and you work for 40 years, you get a pension. And when you get the pension, I was on a conveyor belt.
Sure.
And suddenly I went, oh, I could believe anything. I could believe that I could do anything. I could believe that I could be the guy on the TV show telling jokes. And you can. What you believe dictates your life. You'll be the barrier. You'll be the thing that stops you.
Life.
Grand Rising, family, Grand Rising. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Just drop a 1 in the chat box and we go and get this call started. I do not have time to wait for the newbies today because we are leaving our Airbnb today at 10 a.m. and I thought it was 11 a.m. So I thought I had more time, but apparently not, but that's okay. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Grand Rising, family. For those of you that this is your first ever call, welcome. This is a call that we host every Tuesday and Thursday, 8 a.m. now. And we talk about mindset, personal development, becoming a better version of ourselves, and becoming that 1% better every single day. So after a year, we are 365% better. So welcome. How we start off any call is how we start off every call, and that is always in a state of gratitude. So what I want you guys to do is just pop in some gratitudes in the chat box, things that you are grateful for, things that you are grateful for experiencing, things that you're grateful for seeing. I am so happy and grateful for God. I'm so happy and grateful that God is working in my life and working through me. I'm so happy and grateful that I woke up this morning. I'm so happy and grateful that I get to pour into people on a daily basis. I'm so happy and grateful for the things that we're able to do all around the world. I'm so happy and grateful for every single one of you guys. I'm so happy and grateful for my family, for my friends, for my mentors, for my leaders, for my mentees. I'm so happy and grateful for people that pour into me, people that see me, that hear me. I'm so happy and grateful for my team. Let's go. There's 33 of us on this call, and I will hold every single one of you accountable if I have to. So I want you guys to drop one thing that you are grateful for. If you are not in a state of gratitude, you are not in a state to receive this information that I am about to give you today. I'm so happy and grateful for the sunny weather today. Haven't even looked outside yet. Grateful for being alive. I'm grateful for my life. I'm so happy and grateful for God, my mentors, and the simple pleasures in life. I'm so happy and grateful I'm alive and healthy, and also for my family and friends. Amen. At the gym, grateful for you. I'm grateful for you as well. I'm happy and grateful for the air I breathe. Amen. Because it is magical. Yes, it is. Grateful for life. Grateful for peace, love, and joy. I'm grateful for life. Grateful for my life. Gratitude for the people around me. Amen. 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 Cool. Let's get into it, guys. I'm super excited for today's call. This is a part 2 of what we was able to do. What day is it? Tuesday, last Thursday. And we spoke about last Thursday we spoke about top 10 human regrets, and we only had a chance. I feel like I'm really high. We only had a chance to go through the first 5. So today is a carry on from that call, and it's okay if you wasn't on last week's call, because it doesn't require you to know that information to know this information. But I'm super excited because this is one of my favorite trainings. And I remember when I first kind of come across this information and I was exposed to this information, and it made me really emotional, guys, because I think we kind of maneuver through life and we don't think about how precious life actually is. We don't think about you know, the decisions we're making today might just be a decision that we regret later on in life. So I think it's really important to kind of understand these things, to know these things. Let me just get more people on this call first and foremost, because everyone needs this. And then we're gonna get started. Let me just at the leaders, because we love the leaders, but we're gonna get them. If you are not up at 8 a.m. every morning and you do not make 6 figures, I don't know what the hell you're doing. And it makes sense, okay, if you are not waking up at 8 a.m. Cool. But yeah, let's go into it, guys. Let's go into it, because I don't want to take too much of your time, and we do have to not speed through this call, but kind of speed through this call. So we're going to go through the next 5 human regrets. And as we're kind of we're in the middle of the 90-day burst right now. For those of you that don't know, we are in a 90-day burst, which means we spend 90 days going absolutely ham, no excuses, and we go full force into our goals and what it is that we want to achieve. And we are in the midst of it right now. And as we are kind of like in the middle of it, I think it's quite important to reflect on it as well and reflect on how it is going for us. But the training that I'm going to go through today is called the top 10 human regrets. The first 5 I went through last week, and this is from a book called The Leader with No Title by Robin Sharma. Just drop a 1 if you was on last week's call. Just drop a 2 if you was not on last week's call, just to see okay, 2 2 2 2 2 1 1 1 1 2 2. Cool. All right, amazing. So for those of you that wasn't on last week's call, I will upload it onto the YouTube. It was a very, very powerful call. But where this training comes from is a book called The Leader with No Title. The Leader with No Title by Robin Sharma. And he basically he's such an amazing author when he writes, because he writes in a way that I think, which is absolutely amazing. And I think not a lot of authors get to kind of translate what it is that they are thinking and their knowledge. And he does it in such a beautiful way where you're able to retain the information because he tells you in a story. And I've got a very imaginative brain. So when he is telling this story, he tells it in a way where you're able to more retain the information that he's kind of going through, because he's telling it in a story-like version where he's also still teaching you as well, which I absolutely love. But in this book, there is a mentee, and this mentee is not happy with their life. They are not happy with their situation. They're overworked, underpaid, and they're looking for mentorship to help their situation, to help their life. And they've got this mentor. And this mentor asks them to meet them at a graveyard at 5 a.m. in the morning. Now, I know if I was to ask some of you guys to meet me at a graveyard 5 o'clock in the morning, 1, you'd be thinking this woman is absolutely insane. And 2, you probably wouldn't show up. I'd be standing in the graveyard by myself 5 o'clock in the morning. But he showed up. And when he's arrived now, there are 2 dug up graves. There is one on the left and one on the right. And then his mentor is standing at the front and center. And he is obviously confused as to what the hell is going on. And his mentor tells him to get into the right grave. And there's a piece of paper in each grave. And in the right grave, he goes down, he picks up the piece of paper, and it talks about the top 10 human regrets. And these are things that when they get to the end of days, when they get to the end of lives, and when they are preparing for their burial, they have shared their regrets that they regret throughout their life, that they didn't do, that they didn't partake in, that they didn't decide on, whatever it is. And I think it's such a powerful training, such a powerful concept. And yeah, really, really powerful, guys. So I'm going to go into it. We went through the first 5 last week. We're going to go through the next 5 today. And I really, really urge you guys to take notes. I want you guys to take notes, because in a year from now, 2 years from now, you might think you don't need this information. But you'll look back on your notebook and you'll come across this information again. You're like, wow, maybe I needed that. Okay, so definitely take notes if you are not taking notes. But we're going to go through the next 5. And at the beginning of every regret, the first sentence is, you reach your last day regretting. Okay, so you reach your last day regretting. So that's how everyone starts off. I am going to copy and paste them into the chat box just to make sure that you guys can take notes. But we'll go into it. So it says, you reach your last day regretting that you forgot that work is about being radically helpful to others than being helpful only to yourself. Being selfless. I'll say it again. You reach your last day regretting that you forgot that work is about being radically helpful to others than being helpful only to yourself. being selfless. So let me copy and paste this and then I'm going to break it down. Guys, life is about helping others. So I've just seen the title. The Leader with No Title by Robin Sharma. That's the book. And this is the first one that we're going to go through. Yeah, cool. So, life is about helping others. When it comes to success, when it comes to achieving what it is that you want, way too many people focus on their own self. They focus on their own success. And you have to understand, to be able to achieve what it is that you want to achieve, you have to help people along the way. You have to help people get what they want so you can have everything that you want. We always, always, always talk about serving. We talk about leading from the heart. We talk about pouring into people. We talk about helping as many people get what they want so you can get what you want. If your goals are surrounded by what it can do for you, you are not going to be driven to get them. Guys, when I changed my perspective in terms of what this can do for me to what can this do for so many other people, I wake up and I wake up for my team now. I wake up and I wake up for my team. I used to wake up for myself. I wake up and I wake up for my team now because there is way too many people that need this opportunity. And when you realize that perspective of, I need to help as many people, and it's not even I'm going to help many people so I can get what I want. It's not even that. When you realize how much you can actually help people and how much you can have an actual impact on people, you naturally just want to do it anyway. And that's the perspective that you really want to come from, is helping as many people as possible. You don't want to get to your end of life and you realize that you didn't even make a dent in the world. Like, I truly, truly want that after I pass away to have a legacy, to have people remember what it is that I talk about, remember our conversations, and make the world even just a little bit of a better place. Even if I changed one person's life or impacted one person's life, I can go happy. But if I've lived my life and I didn't make any sort of impact, I made people's lives worse rather than better, I'm not gonna be happy with the life that I chose to live. Okay, it's really important to see how you have an effect on others. If you want to be great, then you have to serve. You have to be in the mindset of serving, doing what you will and doing what you can. And understand that you are still a priority, and you pour into your cup so that you can pour into other people's cups. I always say my mornings are mine. Apart from these morning calls, guys, apart from this Tuesday and Thursday, my mornings are mine. Unless it is an emergency, unless I really need to respond to you, I won't respond to you until probably 11 or 12. Because from 7 o'clock to 11 or 12 o'clock, I'm pouring into me. I'm doing what I need to do. I'm listening to my podcast. I'm listening to my audiobooks. I'm journaling. I'm writing. I'm praying. I'm doing all the things that I need to do. So then I can show up as the best version of myself for others. You can be selfish, so then you can be selfless. But you have to find your purpose in helping others. Okay? You don't want to get to the end of your days and the end of your life and realize that you didn't help not one single person. You didn't help one single person. And I think I mentioned this on last week's call, but Jessie Lee Ward has had that sort of impact on me. Jessie Lee Ward is one of the top female network marketers in the world. And she unfortunately passed away from cancer a couple of years ago. And I only found out about her after she passed away. Well, I knew about her, but her trainings, her legacy inspired me so much more after she passed away. And it's so unfortunate because that's normally what happens. That's normally what happens, is you inspire so many more people when you're not here than when you are here. And she was showing up for trainings, doing trainings in her hospital bed, guys. you can tell she weren't doing it for her. You can tell that was doing it for other people. She was showing up for other people because she didn't have to show up. She had every single excuse in the book to not show up, and she still did. She was told that she didn't have long left to live, and she still ran calls. She still poured into people. She was still helping people. It wouldn't have had any benefit on her. It wouldn't have made her live longer. It wouldn't have helped her with her health, but she's still done it. And that's the position that you want to come from, is I'm doing this so I can create impact. I can make the world a better place. There's so many stories that we hear on a daily basis, and we've been traveling a lot recently, and we've been hearing so many stories. And honest to God, guys, like, all this traveling and meeting new people and hearing people's stories and hearing people's reasons why, like, there's so much more drive and hunger, because you realize how much people need this. You realize how much people need this information, how much people need this way out. And sometimes it breaks my absolute heart that people are living like this. Like, people live how they live, and it absolutely breaks my heart. And it just installs a different level of purpose inside of me. And I really want you guys to find your purpose in helping others, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be what I do. It can be anything, but just find your purpose in helping others. Okay. Next one. You reach your last day with the awareness that you ended up living the life that society trained you to want, than leading the life that you truly wanted. I think this is one of the most powerful regrets, because 95% of the world are in this bracket. 95% of the world are in this bracket. Let me paste it right here. I don't know why it keeps on saying 1 point, but anyways. You reach your last days with the awareness that you ended up living the life that society trained you to want, than leading the life that you truly wanted. I've realized so much that people are scared. 95% of the world give up on themselves. They give up on their goals. They give up on their reason why, because society has trained them to want that life. Society has taught us to be employees. Society has taught us to settle for less. Society has taught us to not believe in ourselves. We were trained, actually trained, to live a certain way. You go to nursery, you go to primary school, you go to secondary school, you go to college, you go to university, you go to your job, and you work until you die. Do you know what the same thing throughout all those things are? You are clocking in, you are clocking out, you are told when you can go toilet, you are told when you can go home, you are told when you can go on holiday, and you are in trouble if you don't. Do you know how crazy that is? You are conditioned and trained to be an employee from the age of 4 years old. From the age of 4 years old. And you are the most susceptible to information from the age of 4 years old to 7 years old. Whatever has happened in your life from the age of 4 years old to 7 years old has shaped who you are today, whether you believe it or not. There is a programming that was installed in you from that age, and it shows up today. Only 3 to 5% of the world, of people in this world, get to live the life that they truly want. 5%. Only 5% of people have what it takes and have the willingness to step out of society's norms to make something of themselves, to decide that I'm not going to work my ass off for the next 40 to 50 years. I'm not going to give blood, sweat and tears. I'm not going to sacrifice my valuable time that I could be given to family, that I could be given to friends, that I could be given to what it is that I truly want for another man's dream. We are trained from the moment that we are born. And that is why entrepreneurship is so hard for some people. Because our whole lives we're trained and always told what to do it, when to do it, and how to do it. Entrepreneurship, it's a whole different ball game. It's a whole different ball game. It's up to you when you wake up. No one's going to drag you out of bed. No one's going to tell you you're not getting paid if you don't wake up. People are not going to tell you when you should stop working. People are not going to tell you when you go on your break. People are not going to tell you when you go on holiday. People are not going to tell you how much effort you need to put in. People are not going to tell you how much you need to do during the day. That's why people struggle with entrepreneurship. Our whole lives we're trained on what to do, when to do it, how to do it. And then you join a business of entrepreneurship, and for most people, it's for the first time in their lives, they're in control now. And it's insane. And when you come into this, you treat this like this is an option. For me personally, this is a necessity. This is a necessity. How, and I'm going to be so brutally honest, how dare you? How dare you wake up past 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, when that clock goes off for your job and you're required to be at work, you go. But on your day off, when that day is where you can work on you can work on your goals, you can work on your dreams, you sleep on it. How dare you? If you are the person that constantly complains about your situation, or you are not happy with your situation, how dare you? You're going to get to the end of your life and you're going to regret that you didn't make the most of now. There's some people that have stopped jumping on these calls because they are 1 hour earlier and they don't think they can then wake up an hour earlier. You know how insane that is? You don't want it bad enough. It sounds good to have the life that you want. It sounds good to be an entrepreneur. It sounds good to travel the world. It sounds good to pour into people. It sounds good. But when it actually comes to doing the work that is necessary, it's a whole different story. It's cool. You stay working then. You stay being told what to do as a grown-ass adult, when you can go toilet, when you can go on holiday, when you can see your family, when you can see your kids, when you're going to come to this workplace and when you're going to work. You stay doing that then. And this is not to down a job, because guys, I've come from a job. I've come from a job where I was working from 7:30 to 7:30 sometimes. I was working 55 hours a week on some weeks. I was seeing my colleagues that I didn't really like more than I was seeing my family. So I done whatever it took to get out of that situation. I was sleeping 4 hours, 5 hours a night. We would stay in the office until 6 a.m. 6 a.m. Have you ever stayed up all night working on your goals, knowing that you had work the next morning? I would rock up to work 2 hours, 3 hours sleep, knowing that the whole night I was working towards my goals. How bad do you want it? And I always say this, I never regretted the work that I did do. I've only ever regretted the work that I didn't do. You're going to regret the work that you don't do, but you will never regret the work that you did do. I will never regret staying up late. I will never regret sacrificing sleep. I will never regret staying in the office until 6 a.m., 7 a.m. When we was wrapping up 5K, guys, I stayed up until 7 a.m. 7 a.m. I was on TikTok live for 6 hours. Josh, Joey, and Milando all stayed up with me. We was up all night. But then there's some people that are 1 away, 2 away, 3 away from a rank, and they will go sleep at 12 o'clock. That's fine. You just don't want it bad enough. You just don't want it bad enough. You're not willing to do what it takes, and that's okay. You're probably just not hungry enough, or you probably don't realize that time is of the essence. You probably don't realize that there is a ticking clock. I'm not willing to waste time. I realize how short time is. I realize how short life actually is. When you are grinding and you are grinding and you realize your reason why, which is your family, has a ticking clock, you're going to make sure you complete your goals before that ticking clock ends. Guys, I'll be completely honest with you. My reason why a few years ago was my dad and to help his healthcare. I ran out of time. I didn't go hard enough, quick enough. And I ran out of time. That will forever stay with me. So now I make sure that I just work relentlessly. I don't have time to take off. We was having a conversation the other day, and it's actually quite funny. We was having a conversation today, and one of the guys said to me, like, when do you take a day off? And I literally almost spat out my food laughing. Because one, I've never actually thought about having a day off, to be honest. And two, I don't need a day off. When you love what you do and you're driven by what you can actually do, and you're driven by passion, and you're driven by impact, and you're driven by actually helping people, you don't want to take time off. This is my life. Like, that's like taking a day off from your life. Like, it sounds insane to me, and I can't even like translate how I think it, but we work. And work is life. But because what we're doing is so much bigger than us, and I think every single leader on this call can speak on behalf of this as well, because we're working for what's so much bigger than us, we work like it's bigger than us. So our problems are small compared to what it is that we're doing here. That's why we will work relentlessly. That's why we don't care about what society has trained us to do, because we will step out of that. Society has told us that you need 8 hours sleep to live comfortably. I can't remember the last time I had 8 hours sleep, guys. I can't remember. You have to hold yourself accountable. If you want to live the life that you truly desire, and you want to help the people, and you want to help your reason why, you have the opportunity to do that. But you have to hold yourself accountable, because no one is coming to save you. No one's coming to save you. Okay? No one's coming to save you, unfortunately. Okay? Next one. You reach your last day and awaken to the fact that you never realized your absolute best, nor touched the special genius that you were built to become. Let me write that in the chat box. Copy. Oh, copy. Paste. There we go. You reach your last day and awaken to the fact that you never realized your absolute best, nor touch the special, why do I keep saying that wrong? Special genius that you were built to become. All the answers, guys, are already inside of you. You have this thing inside of you that could be so great. You have this thing inside of you that could really change the world. And you are so afraid to touch it. You are so afraid to let it out. You are so afraid to become and embody that version of you. And the key is self-education. All the answers are already inside of you. Already inside of you, guys. And there's this book called The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, another favorite book of mine, and I absolutely Love this book. It's by Robin Sharma as well. And this is one of my, I think I read it in like 2 days, guys. Like, I was hooked on this book. And it's called The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari by Robin Sharma as well. Robin Sharma is one of my favorite authors. And he talks about becoming that better version of you. And you have to understand that if you are someone that doesn't read, you're not going to be able to grow. You feed your body all the time. You feed your body, you do all of these things for your body, but then you don't feed your mind. Your mind is starving. Your mind is starving. You need to feed your mind, and that means jumping on calls like this, listening to podcasts, reading books, reading audibles, seeking information. How do you expect to grow if you do not read? Some people make Instagram more of a priority than reading. Some people make scrolling through TikTok more of a priority than reading. People's priorities are so messed up. If you do not read on this call, with love, your brain is starving. Your brain is starving. You need to feed your mind. It is the driving force of everything you do. Everything you do. You need to feed your mind. That means audios. That means every day is a school day, exactly. Audios, books, podcasts. Guys, we've literally been in an Airbnb this whole weekend, and we've been playing just informational things in the background. And whoever's been here can actually vouch for it. We just play something that is seeking information, and it's just in the background. Netflix doesn't exist. Netflix don't exist. It's such a distraction. I can't remember the last time I sat down and I watched a Netflix series. Exactly. What is Netflix? What is it? If you still have a Netflix subscription, cancel it. Go get an Audible subscription and start listening to some audiobooks. Go pay for YouTube Premium and start watching some podcasts on there. You can watch Impact Theory, which is one of the best shows I've watched. Impact Theory, that's probably the main one I watched, to be honest. Diary of a CEO. You want to feed your mind, guys. Because we have been conditioned and conditioned and conditioned and conditioned, and your brain is so susceptible to information, and it's been programmed in such a way that it's going to take for you to be intentional for you to unprogram it. Unfortunately. And you're never going to be able to get to your best self if you keep dumbing yourself down. You spend your time watching flipping Love Island and Netflix and silly shows on YouTube. You're never going to be able to get to your best self because you have this genius inside of you. It's like having a genius child and you don't allow them to reach their full capabilities, and you just get them to watch Netflix all the time. How genius are they going to be after that? Not that much. Not that much. You probably killed the genius inside of them. Your priorities are messed up if you pay for Netflix and you don't pay for YouTube or Audible. Stop making Instagram a priority. If your screen time is over 2 hours and one of those hours is Instagram, you need to sort out your priorities. You have to read every single day. People read every single day. Let's be real. People read every single day. They're just reading the wrong things. They're reading people's captions. They're reading people's pages and all of those things. They're reading the wrong things. We read. We're reading the newspaper. If you still watch the news, let me just put this out here. If you still watch the news, you better delete it and stop watching the news. You know what the news is for? To install fear. To install fear. Every single thing on the news. When I went to a few months ago, I went to Morrison's with my sister, and there was a newsstand, and I haven't read a newspaper or watched the news in donkeys. The only time I'll look at the news is when it affects the markets. Okay. And honestly, I wanted to bet her, but she wouldn't bet me. But I was like, let's go to this newsstand and let's see if we can find any positive things in this newsstand. I bet you it's all negative. Any money is all negative. And she was like, okay, let's go. So we look at this newsstand, and every single story I seen was negative. Every single story I read was negative. It was talking about this thing happening in the world, and this sad thing happening in the world, and this thing happening in the world, and this sad thing, and this trauma, and it just installs fear. It installs people. Exact. People love gossip. People thrive off of gossip. It was insane. There was nothing on that stand that even said a positive thing. And I can tell you guys for a fact, amazing things happen in this world on a daily basis. They just don't talk about it, they don't print it, and they don't share it. Because people don't want to read that stuff. People don't want to read that stuff. They more want to read the fearful things. You feed your body every day, but what do you feed your mind? What do you feed your mind? Okay. Number 9, you reach your last days without ever having experienced the natural power that inhibits you to do great work and achieve great things. This one, when I first came across this call and I first heard this information, I did not understand. I didn't understand. What do you mean there's a power inside of us that inhibits you to do great work and achieve great things? Now I understand. Purpose fulfillment. We are powerful beings. And I jumped on a call with Chris, and Chris said it so perfectly. We are not human beings. We are human becomings. We are becoming better versions of ourselves. We are becoming something. But if you never tap into what you could potentially be, you will never know what you're capable of. You'll never know what you're capable of. And imagine, God forbid, reaching your last days and never knowing your full capability and thinking this was it. This is it. How do you develop? How do you develop your natural power inside of you? Willpower. Do things that make you uncomfortable. Your willpower is when you do things that you're not comfortable doing. It teaches you how to manage challenges. One of your higher faculties is will. And I always say, and my dad used to instill this in me growing up all the time, is if there's a will, there's a way. If you have the will to do something, there is a way to do it. If you wake up at the time that you're comfortable at getting up at, then you're not developing your willpower. If you are avoiding if you're avoiding the work because you feel uncomfortable, you're not developing your willpower. If you are not doing the things necessary, making yourself uncomfortable, challenging yourself, you're not developing your willpower. And the saddest thing about this is when people feel challenged, a lot of people give up. It is making you a better person. It is challenging you into a better person. How many of us showed up to a job that you didn't want to show up to? Just drop a 1 in the chat box if you have ever showed up to a job that you didn't want to just show up to. A lot of us. A lot of us. You had the willpower to do that though. I'm on my way to that job now. I'm sending you loads of love. Sending you loads of love. So how can you have the willpower to show up for a job that you didn't want to show up to, but showing up for yourself requires a little bit more effort? It requires a little bit more convincing. And then there's this business that comes around, this opportunity that comes around that can actually change your situation, change your life. It shows up, but you didn't want to show up. What happened to your willpower? Oh, because you're not getting paid to show up here? What? It's insane. It's crazy. Do you know how many events, team meetups we've had? So many of these things, and people don't show up. But the second that job calls you to come into work because someone's called in sick and we need you, I'll be right there, boss. Cool. Cool. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but you need to have the same energy for your goals. Have the same energy for your dreams. Have the same energy for who the hell it is that you want to be. Stop selling yourself short. You're selling yourself short and you're sleeping on yourself and you're sleeping on your potential. Stop walking through life saying, yes, boss. Do things for yourself. Be your own boss. Be your own damn boss. Show up for yourself when no one else wants to show up. You have to do what others are not willing to do. The 95% of people 95% of people clock in, they clock out, they show up for work like their lives depend on it. Your life depends on you showing up for yourself. In 40 years' time, guys, you are going to regret. You are going to regret not making the most of your life. You are going to regret not taking the risks. You are going to regret not stepping into your greatness. You are going to regret not showing up for yourself. You're going to regret not surrounding yourself with people that have the results that you want. You're going to regret it. You're going to regret being that person that constantly talked about, yeah, I'm going to do this. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Oh my God, that installed a fire inside of me. Oh my God, Sammy's calls are so amazing. But you didn't do shit about it. Don't be that person. You have to have the willpower to actually take action. Get uncomfortable. Do the things that make you uncomfortable. Guys, when I was working, I was calling in sick so I could work on this business. I could work on my goals. I'll tell you what my day looked like. For those of you that don't know. Most of you know now because I always say it. I used to wake up at 5 a.m. I would do my morning routine, my gratitudes, my affirmations, my meditation from 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock, I'm getting ready. 7 o'clock to 7:30, I'm going to work. 7:30, I'm at work. 7:30 to 7:30 sometimes, I'm working throughout the day. I had 1 hour break throughout that day. And you know what I was doing on that 1 hour break? I was either listening, I was on a call, I was listening to an audio or a podcast, or I was literally either on a call, or I was doing something that contributed towards this business, or I was growing in some sort of way, or I would jump on something like this or watch back a recording of something like this, of these calls. I would get home at 7:30. Then from 7:30 to midnight, I'm working on this business. I'm doing my content. I'm doing calls. I'm jumping on calls. And sometimes I would leave work and I would go to the other side of London to Canary Wharf, and I would be working in that office until 1, 2 a.m. sometimes. And I would get a cab home and I would wake up again at 5 a.m. and I would do it all again. And let me tell you something, guys. I don't regret a single day I done that. I regret that I didn't do it more and quicker. I regret that I didn't do it sooner. That's what I regret. I regret I didn't do it sooner. Because that work there got me to where I am today. And I don't regret it. And I'm not saying this to glow, or I'm not saying this about look how hard I work. No, I'm not saying none of it. I'm telling you guys, this is what it takes sometimes. It's going to take you showing up even when you're tired. It's going to take you showing up even when you feel like an absolute zombie. It's going to take you sometimes to sacrifice sleep. It's going to take you sometimes to sacrifice time with your family. It's going to take sacrifice sometimes. But it's just about how bad you want it. How bad do you want it? Okay. And then number 10, last one. You reach your last day and discover that you could have been a leader and left this world with so much more than you found it. But you refused to accept the mission because you were just too scared. So you wasted and you failed and wasted a life. Let me say that again. You reach your last day and discover you could have been a leader and left this world so much better than you found it. But you refused to accept the mission because you were just too scared. So you failed and wasted a life. You failed and wasted a life. That one's a powerful one. That one's a powerful one. You could have left this world a so much better place, a better place than you came into it. But you didn't accept the mission that you was given. Everyone has a desire inside of us, but it's probably not burning just yet. You probably have something inside of you that can contribute so much to this world. But because you're so comfortable in your comfort zone, or because you're so settled in what it is that you do, you're not accepting your mission. And I don't want that to be anyone on this call. We were all called here to do something. God did not place you on this earth to just work. God did not place you on this earth to just pay taxes. You have to face your fears and go lead by example for everyone watching you. I know everyone on this call is a leader and on their personal development journey, but you have to go out there and you have to accept the mission that you are the leader. Every single one of you on this call, every single one of you on this call, every single 35 of you on this call has a mission. But it's up to you if you want to accept that mission or not. It's up to you if you're going to allow yourself to fall into society's norms, or you're going to step out regardless of how you feel. You're going to step out regardless of you being scared. It's up to you. Don't waste an amazing life or a life that could have been. And I say it with so much passion because it breaks my heart. I've seen people get to the end of their lives and they didn't do nothing. They don't have nothing to pass down to their kids. They didn't have nothing to live for themselves. They had nothing to leave behind. They probably couldn't have afforded their own funeral. You know how crazy that is? Don't be that person. It's so serious, guys, and you might just be thinking this girl is just waffling and she's just chatting, and that's great because these words are probably not for you then. I'm talking to the people that know that they are meant for better, that know they are meant for more. Today needs to be the day that you stop being scared. Today needs to be the day that you allow yourself to get uncomfortable. Today needs to be the day that you stop living in your comfort zone, because your comfort zone is your broke zone. And if you stay in your comfort zone, you're going to stay broke. If you want it to stop with you and end with you, then you need to do what your past generations didn't do. And it's as simple as that. My parents and parents before that and parents before that and parents before that, they didn't pass down nothing. You know what was passed down? Poverty. You know what was passed down? Alcohol addiction. You know what was passed down? Trauma. But I'll be damned. I'll be damned if that carries on to another generation. It stops here. It stops with me. And that means stepping out of your comfort zone. I will never have a conversation with my kids where I'm telling my kids I can't afford that. Ever. I will never have a conversation with my kids when I'm telling my kids we can't get that because we don't have enough money. I grew up on conversations where my parents were telling me, my mum would literally come into my room crying, saying that she doesn't have enough money to get dinner today. And we didn't have dinner that day. There was days where we didn't have a lot of food in the house, and my mum and my dad would go not eating so me and my sisters and my brother could eat. We would go to churches to borrow, not even borrow money, to get money from the priest, or we would go to food banks. Guys, I will not live like that with my kids. It ends with me, and that's how serious it is. When you have come from nothing and you know what nothing looks like, you will make sure that you do everything to never live like that again. I've come from nothing. I'm nothing special, guys. Nothing special. I just knew that I didn't want to pass this shit down to my kids. I'm not going to walk into a food bank with my kids needing to get free food because we couldn't afford to get food. And it's not to down my parents, and it's not to make them feel ashamed or anything like that. They just didn't know any better. But every single one of you on this call has an opportunity to change generations after you. Are you going to be the person, or are you going to let it carry on and carry on until someone else in your bloodline changes? It has to stop with you. You have to have that embodiment of it ran into my family until it ran into me. Before you can lead others, you have to lead yourself. And in order to become a great leader, you have to be a good follower. So important, guys. So important. Really, really take in what I'm saying, because you don't want to have those conversations. I don't even have kids. And I know I will never have those conversations with my kids. I will do everything in my power to make sure that it stops here. That generational trauma, that generational addiction, that generational poverty, it stops here. And you guys have the information to change your situation. So what are you going to do about it? Because working for 40 to 50 for 40 to 50 years, that's not the solution. It's not the solution. So I hope every single one of you takes something away from this call today. I did get passionate, and I'm not sorry about getting passionate at all, because I'm so serious about this sort of stuff. I've seen it ruin families. I've seen it ruin my family. I'm so passionate about it, and I will never shut up about it, because I truly, truly believe that just one conversation can change your whole situation. Just one. So I urge and pray you guys to get out of your comfort zone. I urge and pray you guys to do the most, to take this opportunity with both hands and make the most of it. I absolutely appreciate every single one of you. I hope and pray you guys go and do something that scares you today, that gets you out of your comfort zone. And I really hope that God places his hands on every single one of you and guides you through everything. Guide you through your next journey, guides you through this journey, and helps you and aligns you. Appreciate you guys. Have an amazing day. Take care. I did run over. I was supposed to finish this call 15 minutes ago, but I absolutely appreciate every single one of you. Go and do something great today. Go and do something that scares you today. Go and do something that makes you uncomfortable. I love you and I appreciate every single one of you. Take care. And we go again Thursday, 8 a.m. You're welcome, guys.